Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. In today's video, I'm gonna bring it down a little bit. We're not gonna be talking about makeup or anything like that. We are going to be talking about confidence. I know that it's back to school season. If you already went back to school or if you are going back to school in September, let me know in a comment down below. I would love to know when you guys all start school or if you're even in school. But basically, I just wanted to talk about being confident. School is something that everybody goes through, and if you're lucky enough to live in a country like Canada or the States, school is very important. And I say lucky because there are some countries that don't have really good school programs like we do. So with that being said, I have a list of things in my notebook here written of just tips and tricks and even little experiences that I've gone through, and I've broken it down into 3 categories so that I'm not all over the place with this video. I also don't want it to be super long because I mean it could get kind of boring if we're talking about school, but I just wanted to point out a couple things and let you know a little bit of my experience with school. I am 25 years old, so I did my time in school all the way from kindergarten to 12th grade in high school, and I did a year of college as well. So I know a little bit about what I'm going to talk about. So I want to go back to junior high, middle school, that time when you're 12, 13, 14, you know, like that age. I think that is what I would refer to as the awkward stage. You're learning about yourself, about your body, about other people, about things around you. Social media is definitely a really big factor nowadays because social media wasn't even around when I was in school back in those days. Gosh, that makes me sound really old. But what I'm trying to say is that everybody is going to go through a time in the period where it's just a period of time where it's just a little uncomfortable, and there's definitely ways to get through it. I got through it. Everyone gets through it. Like, it's not even a big deal. So my first point that I want to say is, if you're starting off in a new school, if you moved over the summer and you're going to a brand new school, you're in a new city, and you don't know anyone around you, regardless of your personality, regardless of your character, I think the best thing to do is put yourself out there. You want to maybe not stand out, but you want to reach out. Compliment someone on their backpack or their makeup or their hair or the school supplies they have or things like that. If you get paired up with someone, be the first to say, hey, what's up, how are you, or where are you from, or what school did you go to, or what's your background, things like that. Put yourself out there. Be the first one to say, hey, do you want to sit with me at lunch, or do you want to share your locker with me, or do you want to trade snacks, or whatever it may be. Don't be afraid. Don't be shy. That was my biggest problem in school. I was scared. I was scared to talk to everyone. I was scared to make friends. I was scared to let people know that I was around, or like I was the kind of person that spoke when spoken to. And I'm kind of sort of the same way right now, although I'm still trying to get around that. I'm trying to not be that way because I've noticed that when you're like that, you miss out on a lot. I go back to my high school days when I used to go home for lunch because I didn't want to associate with anyone. And now that I look back at that, I'm like, I should have just stayed. I should have stayed in the caf. I should have ate the caf food, and I would have known what everybody was talking about. The fries were the best, and that the burgers were soggy, and things like that. Like, I know it sounds a little crazy to think that like the burgers are important as taste wise or whatever it may be, like, but those are the things that you remember when it comes to school. Like, nobody remembers what trigonometry is, or how to find the square root of pi, or how to use watercolors, things like that. Like, you don't remember those things. You remember that the fries were the best at the caf. You remember that the library was always booked up and you never had a chance to get a computer, and that the brick wall on the left side of the building was the best place to hang out, and if you cross the street, that's where all the smokers hang out and stuff like that. You would know that if you were around to socialize with people. And school to me was just something I had to do. It wasn't an experience for me because I made it that way. So what I'm trying to say is, don't hold yourself back. Don't think of school as just a time. Think of it as an experience. Think of it as it's going to shape you in the way you are. It's going to teach you to be a better person. It's going to provide you with the knowledge and stuff like that that you need for your future. And right now, all I'm talking about is the social media aspect of it. I'm not even going into the education fundamentals about it, which is my second point here. I have keeping up with studies and social life, because in grade 6, 7, and 8, I was a really good student. I loved going to school and I loved learning. I wasn't too good at everything, and I had a little bit of a social awkward period where I didn't know what to do. I couldn't play sports for the life of me, but I tried it. And I couldn't draw, but I tried it. I hated drama, but I tried it. And when I look back at those times, I'm glad that I tried those things, and I'm glad that I learned and that I used those outlets as forms of social, and I got to know people, I got to meet people and stuff like that, but only because I wanted to. What I'm trying to say is, like, kind of just step out of your comfort zone, do something that you wouldn't expect yourself to do, and put yourself in a situation where you're a little uncomfortable, because that will help shape you to help you find what you're looking for as a social part of it. And when I say keeping up with your studies is, like, allow yourself to have a really good schedule after school that prepares you for school during school, which I think it sounds so crazy, but it actually made sense in my mind, because I've always said this, even when I was younger, like, we spend like 6 to 7 hours at school every single day, 5 times a week. Why is there any need for homework? Like, I get it. Everyone thinks that way, and I definitely wasn't the one person who wasn't thinking that way. I was definitely thinking that way. I'm like, I just spend so much of my day at school working and worrying about homework and assignments and due dates and all that stuff, tests, assignments, everything. I was definitely worried about all that stuff during school. Why should I go home on my free time and do more? But you know what? That helps shape you for the next days. Studying for tests, studying for quizzes, writing notes, using different kinds of supplies to help you visually study is honestly something I still use to this day. Like, I have colored pens all the time because I visually like to use different colors and write things down. And like, even now, like, I have my notebook here that I use for my videos, and like, I don't want to show you everything because these are upcoming videos and stuff like that, you know. I don't want to give too much away, but I do use different colored pens. Washi tape is the best as like dividers, or like little, ooh, I'm dropping stuff, or like little like, what are they called, like little tags that like help you find your page in a book. I don't even know what it's called. But I mean, like lists, things like that. Like, I like These notebooks I get at the dollar store. They're really good, and like I have YouTube written here, and I also have my nickname in the back. I use these books all the time to help me study and help me prepare for things that I want to do. I have another one here, and I've actually filled this one up. That's why I bought that one. So that brings me to my final note here, which is rewarding yourself. School is tough, it's stressful, it's draining, and I mean, it's a lot of work, you know. You're essentially going to work every day, and building your education is tough. But my whole thing with that is learn how to balance it. Learn how to prioritize your things. Make lists. Keep a calendar, schedule. Prioritize your things. And remember that school is just as important as being social. You want to pass, you want to have good grades, you want to make your parents proud, you want to have a good career in the future. Education matters. I never expected to need my education so badly until I was rejected by every college that I expected, that I thought that would be easy to go. And when I was rejected a couple times, I realized, I'm like, wow, I wish I could have gone back to grade 10 and 11 and actually paid attention when they were talking about do good in high school and you'll be rewarded for that in college. And I didn't take those things seriously. So I want you all to understand that it's important. It's important to put your all in to the education aspect of it, not so much the social part of it, because of course the social part of it is really important, but just as much as education. Education is everything nowadays. I mean, just to get a simple job, you're gonna need your high school diploma. Don't push that aside. That's super important, and think of it as the most basic diploma that you will receive after working so hard for it. So with all those things being said, I really hope that school is a good learning experience for you, and that you can reflect back on those years when you're my age or a little bit older, and when you can let everyone know how amazing your life turned out, because, you know, school shaped you in a good way. So yeah, I know this video is kind of long and I don't want it to be like super boring or anything like that, but I just wanted to point out those things and just how to be confident and how to put yourself in a good place. And what I'm trying to say in a nutshell, I don't want this video to be too long, I've already been talking for 10 minutes, is that you need to put yourself out there. Do things that you wouldn't expect yourself to do. Be the person that you want to be friends with, because that's what you're going to attract. Don't worry about the peer pressure. Don't worry about bullies. Everyone is out there to get the same thing, which is an education and maybe a couple friendships with a couple people. And take it seriously, but don't take it seriously. Remember that school is super important. On the educational purpose of it is very important, and it will shape you to be the best person you can be. But don't think that because of that that's all that's important. You know, you have to make friends, you have to be social, and being social isn't a bad thing nowadays. And being social through your personality, through yourself, not through a cell phone or an iPad or a computer, anything like that. You want to be social as a person. It's an amazing thing to be social and be friends with people. How many times am I going to say social? Oh my god. Okay, and as if I didn't want to go off on this crazy tangent, I definitely did. I'm over my time now, and I just want you guys all to know that school is not for everyone, but everyone has to do it, and You will get through it, I promise. If you have any questions, please leave them down below, and I will be definitely sure to let you know how I feel on all of those things. If you have any questions, I will be sure to answer them. Please leave them in a comment down below, or follow me on all of my social media, and let's chat. Let's talk about school, and let's be friends. Yeah, that's pretty much all I have to say. I know this video is gonna be so long, and I hope it's not boring or anything like that, but don't be afraid. Don't be afraid to be yourself. Put yourself out there and be the friend that you're looking for. So, thank you so much for watching, and I really hope that school works out for you. And yeah, so I will see you guys in my next video.